Starting lineup is as follows. Pole position, the O plate, the GP plate winner, the championship leader, Macaulay Bishop, with Kenzo Craigie alongside. Ethan Jeff Hall and Timo Youngling share row 2. Joshua Graham and Alexander Kuhl are on row 3.
Row 4 is Thomas Bin Spearing with Harry Hannum. Then Ewan Charman and Thomas Behrman round out the top 10. Behind them on row 6 are Joshua Turnbull and Cian Geraghty.
Row number 13, Gustav Usakovs and Hugh Moulton. Brandon Truman and Leon Hasty are up next, followed by Archie Buttle and Harrison Crowther.
Deacon Russell and Thomas Ingram Hill round out the top 20 with row 11 of Harrison Whitcomb and William Antrobus, then Rhys Bailey and Archie Clark.
Row number 13, Lizzie Mentier and Matteo Palazzo, Katarzyna Tomilewski, Tyler Harris, Lewis Goff and Ethan Carney are your top 30.
Then rounding out the 34 kart grid, a bumper grid for this Junior Rotax final are John Brown, Rachel Robertson, Reg Hayward and Kai Veach.
15 minutes to go. Kenzo Craigie, this is the best grid position of his Junior Rotax career.
And he's relaxed.
Bishop leads the championship with 427 points for over Jeff Hall. Jeff Hall and his Strawberry Racing teammate Gustav Usakovs tied for second on 393 with Ewan Charman, Timo Youngling, Thomas Bin Spearing next up. For the final time at Larkhall this year, the lights are out. We're off and racing. Macaulay Bishop leads them through turn number 1, and somebody on the grass, somebody on the inside. That was Kenzo Craigie. Yes, I saw the orange crash helmet, and he's dropped all the way back out of the top 6, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. He's dropped out of the top 10.
He was bouncing over the grass, wasn't he? Managed to get it back on circuit, but as you say, lots of number of positions and a change for the lead. Through goes Ethan Jeff Hall. Macaulay Bishop relegated to 3rd as through follows another driver as well. Who was it that slipped through into 2nd?
That was Joshua Graham.
What a start for Joshua Graham, then up to P2 already.
So Graham.
Back through goes Macaulay Bishop into the right-hander. He's already stolen it.
Right, it's Ethan Jeff Hall leading, Macaulay Bishop 2nd. Ethan Jeff Hall had his birthday on Friday. There is Timo Youngling, whose birthday it is today, moving up a position as well. Alexander Kuhl going around the outside. It's been a very, very impressive weekend for Alexander Kuhl up into the top 6 position. Ewan Charman's recovered well as well after a terrible day yesterday.
Kenzo Craigie's in 17th after that first lap. 15 positions lost after getting, I think it was just a bit of rubbing on the inside, squeezed onto the curb on the outside, and we've seen, I think across all of these finals now, someone getting nerf offed onto the right-hand side out of turn 1, and it just means you lose so many positions, you lose all the grip on your tyres.
What it does, but working in Kenzo's favour, he knows he has the pace in that car because he's had a win this weekend, 2nd there, and I'm looking back at the turn 7 area. There are karts every which way but loose coming out of turn number 7, including some that look very loose indeed. Ethan Jeff Hall leads by 0.4 of a second. Graham 3rd at a gap back to Thomas Bin Spearing in 4th, Youngling in 5th, and it's Kuhl, Charman, Turnbull, Usakovs, Harry the Lion Hannum 10th, and then it's Thomas Behrman, Leon Hasty, Cian Geraghty, Archie Clark has gained 10 places for Archie Clark. Oh, Sprinkles will be happy. She'll be yapping away. Her heart's content. We got a new leader. His name is Macaulay Bishop.
That was ridiculous. It was half a second when they crossed the start-finish line. The gap already closed it. Halfway through the lap, retakes the lead as Macaulay Bishop. Fastest lap of the race on the last lap was 0.2 quicker than Ethan Jeff Hall. What a fantastic bit of racecraft from Macaulay Bishop. No waiting around, immediately retakes the lead. But look at this, tiny bit of battling. The entire rest of the field back into contention here. And we now have how many karts in this train? Is it 9 all the way back to Gustav Usakovs?
Now, I've got to say, Ethan Jeff Hall, Macaulay Bishop, we've got a hugely talented Rotax, Junior Rotax field in the UK. These two, they're in their last year as a junior. They are two exceptionally talented drivers. They don't always see eye to eye, it has to be said. But this is now an opportunity for both Bishop and Jeff Hall to show why they are so good, why Jeff Hall is the international trophy winner, why Macaulay Bishop qualified 61st the international trophy, qualified 34th for the final and came through to finish in about 7th position. And that's as a senior, not as a junior. You know, the rest of the Rotax world is being put on notice. Ethan Jeff Hall and Macaulay Bishop have both had a podium finish in the Rotax Grand Finals. Jeff Hall last year in Portimao. Bishop back in 2019 is a Micromax driver in Sarno, Italy.
And now Macaulay Bishop, first one to drop into the 49-second mark. However, fastest lap goes the way of Archie Clark. You were mentioning him earlier, up 10 positions to 14th in this one. Now a 49.89 fastest lap. What a fantastic run through the pack it is for Archie Clark. He's only about a second or two off of this train as well, so it's definitely not out of contention getting up into those top 10 spots.
Yeah, indeed. Now, so Macaulay Bishop's chances, they're in his own hands. However, if Joshua Graham sits and pushes Ethan Jeff Hall, they might catch Macaulay Bishop. If Josh Graham, I think it's safe to say, if Josh Graham goes for a move on Ethan Jeff Hall, it'll slow them both down. That'll give Macaulay all the the opportunity he needs to pull a gap, because he did win. He has won by a convincing margin so far this weekend.
Look who's now taking the fastest lap. Kenzo Craigie.
Kenzo Craigie.
There we go.
You see him flash through the screen there. He is already up into 15th position.
He's just behind Archie Clark, isn't he, who's getting through the pack nicely, so trying to follow him through, stick with him, push through the pack together, and they're doing a good job of it. We've just seen that move on screen. Thomas Min spearing through on Timo Youngling. Ewan Charman following through as well, so drops Timo Youngling on his birthday down to 6th. That's not very nice, but hey-ho, it's racing. No one cares if it's your birthday.
Yeah, exactly. All they hope is that nobody gives you the birthday bumps.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Ow.
Certainly not on circuit, anyway.
Bishop, 49.58 seconds. There's the number 24. KR Sports Kart.
Archie Buttle.
Archie Buttle.
Drops down to 32nd. I think he lost 3 or 4 positions from that little excursion.
Yeah, all 34 starters are still running. Tyler Harris has dropped down. Now, I did see on the last lap, out of the corner of my eye, Harry Hannum and Kean Garrity, the 2 Jack Dex racing. At this point of the circuit, this exact point there, you're looking at now, the 2 Jack Dex racing drivers, 2 karts, 1 Apex.
Never works well.
Never works well. Harry Hannum ended up dropping a few positions. Right. But Bishop's lead now 9/10 of a second.
Yep.
49.54 seconds for Macaulay Bishop. Joshua Graham has taken over P2, and the gap between top first and second grows to over 1 second with that move from Joshua Graham. Well, Graham obviously thinks he's got the pace in that Argenti Motorsport car to make something happen. Argenti, they've had a couple of podiums this year, with one of them with Ewan Charman. They haven't stood on the top step of the podium in 2023 in this championship.
No, indeed. And now with Ethan Jeff Hall following, he's getting a little bit frustrated as well, of course. It's a difficult one because you want to sort of work together and push ahead towards the leader, but you can visually see Macaulay Bishop getting further away. So do you think, Matt, I'm just going to go through here and I'll take second place and we'll settle for this? Or do we try, possibly in vain, to push on together?
You're about to see a graphic coming up on the top of your screen, and it is that Macaulay Bishop has just set another new fastest lap, 49.50 seconds. Bishop in the championship, continuing to push away. Can't bring you the virtual championship standings for this race, but Bishop, he came into the race with a 34 point advantage in the championship, and that is growing.
Indeed, yeah. Closest person on pace at the moment is actually Gustav Uzakovs in 8th position. Was a 10th of a second slower on that last lap. Now all drivers settling into the race a bit, getting a little bit faster as we've got a driver off. The number 38 is off of the circuit. That's Leon Hasty. Oh,
one of the Scottish contingent for Thule Motorsport. Going down the aisle. Speaking of the Scottish contingent, Saltire Motorsport back in the paddock this weekend. The S-plate holder, the Scottish Super Series champion. Rhys Bailey is in 22nd position. Matteo Palazzo is 26th, and we've got a new third place driver.
Yeah, indeed. Joshua Graham back through on Ethan Jeff Hall. Through follows Thomas Min Spearing. Through follows Ewan Charman. That relegates Ethan Jeff Hall now down into 5th place, now has Timo Youngling for company as well. Now, we said no one could challenge Macaulay Bishop's pace. Kenzo Craigie can, 49.48, new fastest lap of the race. I said he was following Archie Clark through the pack. He's now overtaken Archie Clark, finds himself in 11th spot as we've got another driver over.
That's Kasper Tomilewski. So, Kasper Tomilewski in the number 27 Kato Motorsport Kart. Now, Kasper is walking, well, he's sort of crawling away from his kart. He's out of the kart and he is with the officials. We've got 6 minutes of the race to go. Yellow flags, a full course yellow. They're just coming past the incident now on the outside of the screen. Kasper Tomilewski moving around, so he did try to get up, but then thought, oh no, something hurts. I'm going to sit back down again.
And this is the worst possible thing for Macaulay Bishop. His 2.5 second lead will be diminished to nothing.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen? And we've got
red flag, yes, red flag.
Well, yes. So red flags are out the board there. So I can see now. They're very important. So Kato Adams, the team boss, is with the Kasper Tomilewski. I think his dad is over there with him as well. Kaspar, he's sort of writhing about a little bit. He did try, he got out from under his cart, crawled off a little bit, and then he decided, I'm going to have a little sit down here. He's talking. The marshals are with him. He's talking to his thing. So the race has stopped with 5.5 minutes to go. Now, that is not 75% race distance.
No.
So, the end of, now we were on lap 12. We were on the end of lap number 10. The start of lap number 11 was the last fully completed lap. John, I will go and find out exactly what the restart procedure is going to be when we get it. And if you run through the full running order at the end of lap number 10.
Yes, indeed. I will also mention the fact that I believe it was Kai Veach involved in the incident with Kasper Tomilewski. Kai Veach's car also parked over at the side of the circuit. He's up and out of the car, and he seems to be all okay, but really gutting for Kai Veach as well. Didn't make it to the end of the pre-final, isn't going to make it to the end of the final either. But indeed, to run you through the order after a good 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes of running, Macaulay Bishop was leading your race. I did think as we came into this one that it was only going to be someone else taking the lead of the race if they did it early on. That was the case. I thought then it could be a great battle at the front between them, but Macaulay Bishop quickly scythed his way back through into the lead and built a close to 2.5 second gap up to Joshua Graham and Thomas Min-Spearing in behind, as I now see the ambulance service moving their way onto the circuit to help our driver Kasper Tomilewski. Let's continue running you through the order then. It was Joshua Graham in second with Thomas Min-Spearing in third. Ethan Jeff Hall there in fourth. He was having a great battle there with Ewan Charman in fifth. Timo Youngling in sixth. Joshua Turnbull seventh with Gustav Overkos eighth. Thomas Behrman ninth and Alexander Kull rounding out the top 10. And as the drivers do now set off from their standing positions, and we'll be soon getting this Junior Rotax final back underway.
Oh no, Harry Hannam, the lion is not roaring, he's looking down, the cart won't start. Can he get that cart? They're going to do a full lap. There's our race director Nigel Edwards coming over to him. Oh dear. And the EBC brakes, but it's not a braking problem for the EBC brake sponsored drivers, but the wagon has broken.
Yeah, the final hadn't gone well already. He was down 8 spots, wasn't he, from his starting position for Harry Hannam, and it goes from bad to worse as he's not going to make it to the checkered flag.
Indeed, and he trudges aside. So, we are down to 30 drivers. Oh, now, Macaulay Bishop. He controls the pace at the front. There is a yellow restart line where he has to where he will sort of accelerate.
Yes.
It's all down to how awake Josh Graham, Thomas Min-Spearing are. Graham, if they come into turn number 6, Graham has got to be literally planted on Bishop's rear bumper. Bishop will get a fraction of a second. We talk about racing drivers' reactions. Joshua Graham's reactions have got to be milliseconds later than Macaulay Bishop. Look at that. And, Graham isn't going to let Bishop get away. Now, they come into turn number 10 now.
He's gone.
Out of turn 10. Green flag. Here we go. 5.5 minutes plus a lap to go in Junior Rotax. Joshua Graham's going to have to make it soon, or he's not going to make it at all.
Look at them fanning out in behind as they head down to the first braking zone. Couple of drivers diving for some moves to the inside. But as you say, we need that immediate pressure from Joshua Graham if he has any shot of taking away the final win from Macaulay Bishop. Macaulay holds on to it as we head through the first part of the lap. But Joshua Graham, he is sticking with him. He's forcing Macaulay to check over the shoulder in behind. Thomas Min-Spearing is up into third place. He's got Ethan Jeffall for company just behind him. But already a gap forming between second and third place.
Yeah, Joshua Graham, he was so competitive in Honda Cadet. Looking back to see last year's wins for Joshua Graham. He didn't have one last year, but Graham does know how to win in the British Championship. Ethan Jeffall having to defend a little bit from Ewan Charman, and that allows Thomas Min-Spearing to get a couple of kart legs. But Graham is with him. Now, this is the only part of the track, John, in these junior karts where the slipstream effect does come into play. But, oh, Bishop off the corner. Ooh, that was good exit speed from Bishop. And here comes Ewan Charman. Argenti, second, third and fourth now.
Indeed, yeah, great little move, and immediately moves over to defend as Ethan Jeffall gets nerfed out wide a little bit, and a more touching just kisses the barrier on the outside, but he's losing 5-10 positions because of that one. Since the restart, they're all super close together. One little mistake like that and you lose a number of positions.
Here comes Kenzo Craigie picking up another place there. So Craigie took the restart in 11th. I'm looking on the corner of my eye at a nose cone flying down the outside of turn number 8. The marshal picks it up. That nose cone belonged to... gives it back to the team. The nose cone belongs to Ethan Carney from Coles Racing, who has pitted. So, 3.5 minutes to go, John. The gap, half a second.
Indeed, it only really seems to be extending. I think Joshua Graham is doing a fantastic job trying to stick with Macaulay Bishop, but Macaulay Bishop is continuing to fly out there, immediately back on pace. On that last lap alone, he was a 1/10.5 quicker than Joshua Graham in behind, who did an identical lap time to Thomas Min-Spearing. So, although he's putting a good effort in as Joshua Graham, it's looking like it is going the way of Macaulay Bishop as we head into the final 3 minutes of this one.
Yes, indeed. We start lap number 50. The gap is now 3/4 of a second. Graham looking to hold on to a podium. Looking at this season so far in Junior Rotax, Argenti Motorsport had a podium. They've had 2 second place finishes every round of the British Championship so far this season. Argenti it's been a Dan Holland 1. It's been an Argenti 2, and there is a yellow flag. We've had an incident. I think that could be Harrison Whitcomb is coming through there,
yeah,
and there is Harrison. And we'll give the kart a kick, and we'll walk off. Is he gesticulating at another driver?
He's not too happy. We can certainly say that.
Let's have a little look. I think it might. Well, there doesn't seem to be anybody else that is dropping down the order.
We'll try and see who he was with at the time. We've just seen there Timo Youngling make a great move on Ewan Charman, and now he's defending heavily down into turn 3 and turn 4. Lots of squabbling going on in behind, and who's that coming through? It's only Kenzo Craigie.
Yep, picking off one, like I said, like ducks, ping, one, and... there's a slippery... Did I just see the slippery surface
Possibly with the
flag?
Barrier being hit, it's put some water back on the circuit.
I'm not sure. Maybe that's what Harrison was sort of looking at there.
I just said Timo Youngling went for a great move. The stewards disagree with me. 5-second penalty for Timo Youngling there. That's going to be added to the end of his race time. And that's going to drop him down a number of positions with how close they all are after that restart.
Yeah, and the break mid-race will not help Youngling's cause in that respect. And the fact that he is defending. Meanwhile, just a minute to go now. Macaulay Bishop, Joshua Graham, 9/10 of a second back, with Thomas Min-Spearing in third, and then this battle for fourth. But 5 seconds to Timo Jungling. That would put him back to 16th position.
It would, not great. You can see they're pointing forward as Ewan Charman wanting to work together, but goes immediately down the inside, nearly shuffles Timo Jungling onto the grass. He holds onto it though and now has to defend into this tight left-hander. Interestingly enough, Gustav Suzukov's involved in this battle as well. There you can see the number 5 of Ethan Jeff Hall trying to go around the outside of the 87 of Thomas Behrman, but he's going to get pushed out, isn't able to get it done. I was highlighting Gustav Suzukov's. He's had a great run through, 8 positions up in this final, and there he's going to grab another one down the inside of Timo Jungling, who goes wide and loses 3 positions.
I think that Timo Jungling has a slow puncture on that kart. Just looking at the way the kart is handling, he's been knocked off his rhythm, so to speak. Oh, and there's a move. That is Usakov's. Ethan Jeff Hall and Gustav Usakov's battling.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Ethan Jeff Hall trying to go around the outside of 2, managed to do 1, but not quite get Usakov's as well. And these two still battling out hammer and tong. Now Jungling defending from behind, and he's definitely lost a lot of pace throughout this last couple of laps. So I think you could be correct there on that slow puncture.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously, there's just something that is not right there, and he's running wide going through turn number 8. Yeah, he can't get the kart to turn sharp right, which tells me there is a puncture on the left-hand side of the kart somewhere, front or rear. The tyre hasn't come off the rim yet, but maybe there is air escaping from that Mojo tyre.
Indeed, yeah. Jeff Hall back through on Uzakos as we head on to the final lap of the race. Macaulay Bishop out in the lead. We don't even need to look at him. Nearly has 1.5 seconds. The gap is a bit of pushing it into the barrier. Hit for 83 of Joshua Turnbull. He got back up into 7th place. Now he's going to be dropping well down the order. It was just a bit of bumping and barging there, wasn't it? Into turn number 3 and into the wall he goes.
Well, in the modern era of the British Championship, Macaulay Bishop has 17 podiums. Harry Burgoyne Jr. has 17 podiums. There was a tie. There is a tie no longer. Macaulay Bishop, 11 wins, 18 podiums. He is the all-time modern era podium king. Macaulay Bishop, it's his 2nd win of the season in Junior Rotax. When you add up his wins from Junior X30 as well, he is looking to challenge his Dan Holland Racing teammate Kai Hunter for the most wins all time. There's now just 3 in it. Macaulay has 11, Kai has 14. It's Dan Holland Racing's 8th win of the season, and they move their podium tally for 2023 on to 19 in just 7 rounds. Here's a look at your 4 results.
Wow, what a race for Macaulay Bishop. Was anyone in any doubt that he'd be able to crack that restart and get the win? Not a chance. He takes it on the hoe plate. Fantastic result. Joshua Graham and Thomas Min Spearing round out the provisional podium, with Ewan Charman and Ethan Jeff Hall rounding out the top 5. Behind Gustav Suzukovs and Timo Jungling there in 7th, but of course he's got a 5-second penalty that's going to drop him down the order. Behind them, Thomas Behrman, Harrison Crowther and Kenzo Craigie rounds out the top 10. A good fight back for Kenzo. Hugh Moulton in 11th with William Antrobus 12th, Kean Garrity 13th and Archie Clark in 14th.
Deacon Russell, Alexander Cole, Lizzie Mentier, Matteo Palazzo, Brandon Truman, Archie Buttle round out your top 20, with Tyler Harris, Reg Hayward, Lewis Goff, John Brown, Thomas Ingram Hill, Reese Bailey and Rachel Robertson. The last car home. Joshua Turnbull, after that last lap incident, finishes 28th last car running. Sadly, we lost Harrison Whitcomb, Ethan Carney, Harry Hannum, Kai Veach, Leon Hasty, and of course we all saw Kasper Tomalewski. We hope that Kasper is okay. He walked to the ambulance and he'll be checked out, and I'm sure a clean bill of health. And trust Macaulay to ruin the symmetry. We had 3 races decided by less than half a second. Macaulay goes and wins it by 1.5, and it was on a restart.
Ridiculous. That just shows how impressive Macaulay Bishop is.
We'll be back with the winners' interviews down in the pits very shortly, but after one final word from our sponsors.
And we are back down in Park Ferme for the last final of the day, and we have got the podium winners here with us. So in first place we have Macaulay Bishop. How are you feeling about that one?
I mean, it was good. Obviously, we got a good start in the first part of the race, and then we got red flagged, and then we had another good start, and then just managed the gap.
So how did you feel before that red flag came out? You were just under 2.5 seconds ahead. To have that lead squashed and start fresh again, how did that feel in the kart?
It was all right. I was a bit nervous, but obviously our pace has been really good this weekend, so I know if I got a gap, then I'll just pull away.
So I've been told by a little birdie that this might make you the driver with the most podiums in the modern karting era. How does that feel if it's true?
It feels great. I mean, I've had a lot of success in this championship, so it's been good.
I like the confidence. Congratulations. Is there anybody at all you'd like to thank?
All the DHR, Daryl for setting up my kart, Dad and brother for mechanicking, and my mum for supporting me.
No worries. Congratulations again. Well done on first place. Now we will move on to our second place driver, who is Joshua Graham. So how are you feeling? You started back in 5th and now you made it up to 2nd place. That's got to be pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was a tough drive, but yeah, ended well.
And how did you feel? There was that restart kind of towards the end, so you got nearly 3/4 of the race through and then had to start fresh. How did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it closed the gap to Macaulay, but in the end it was just too quick, but well done to him. He's just outrageously fast.
Now, how do you feel looking forward into the next couple of races coming up? Are you just as confident going into those?
Yeah, I mean, it's boosted my confidence massively. Yeah, I can't wait for the next rounds.
No worries. And do you have anybody at all you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Argenti Motorsport, Kart Republic, Ogden Race Engines, Danny Sweeney, Ron Meadows, my dad and Terence Dove.
No worries. Congratulations on P2. It was a brilliant drive. And we have got one more position, and that is our 3rd place, who is Thomas Min Spearing. So, here you go. You did quite well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was 7th up to 3rd.
Yeah, it was a good start. We just got up into 3rd and then just managed to stay 3rd for most of the race.
So there seemed to be a little bit of jostling for positions behind you. Did you feel any impact from that, or did you just focus on your own race?
No, just focused on the pack in front. Just never looked behind really. Oh, I did a bit, but yeah.
Checking over your shoulders a little bit?
Yeah, quite a bit.
That's okay. And how did you feel coming out of that restart? Was it easier or harder for you?
It was better than at Kimbolton, where we had an average jump start, but just timed it at the right time this one. So yeah, it was a good one.
No worries. And do you have anybody at all you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Argenti Motorsport, Danny, Ron, my mechanic Curtis, and I dedicate this to my mechanic Sam, who couldn't be here this weekend, and my parents.
Welcome to the podium presentation for Junior Rotax here at Larkhall, and it's the last podium presentation of the day. A big thank you to the last 2 weeks to everybody at the West of Scotland Kart Club for their support. This final, happy to report that the driver who's been injured, Kasper Tomaneski, is absolutely fine. But finishing in 3rd position, it's his 2nd trip on the British Championship podium for Argenti Motorsport. It's Thomas Min Spearing. Argenti having their best weekend of the season so far, because finishing in 2nd position, it's Joshua Graham. But we made a little bit of history in the final. Coming into this weekend, Harry Burgoyne Jr. and Macaulay Bishop were tied at the top of the modern era in the British Championship at 17 podiums apiece. Macaulay Bishop now stands alone with 18 podiums and 11 victories. Your Junior Rotax winner, representing Dan Holland Racing, it's Macaulay Bishop and winning mechanic Mason Tune. So Macaulay takes a 34-point lead, I believe, in the championship standings. That's 11 wins and 80 podium. Argenti, a double podium. I think that is their 3rd and 4th podiums of the 2023 season. And with Macaulay doing double duty, he has an opportunity. He's 4 final wins behind Kai Hunter, so he could overpass Kai Hunter as the all-time modern era British Championship race winner as well. Ladies and gentlemen, your Junior Rotax podium.